I power walked down to that pile of gummy bears and back. I should probably set the pile out further, or closer, so I can get at them.
Hey everybody, what's up? Happy Monday. I hate my Mama Mondays. I could really go for some enchilada. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. It's a podcast that wants to dive into the pop culture arena, if you will, and look at everything from news that is uplifting, from news that is a little on the downside, the insanity that's taken place, the nostalgic flame, I believe, is dying, and I'm just a guy who is trying to keep it alive, by hopefully pointing out the good, the bad, the ugly, and the spiritual, and see what we can do to bring back that entertainment flame. Just another guy adding his 2 cents. It's episode, I think I declared it 90. So we're going pretty strong. Going pretty strong. If you guys enjoy the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button or follow me over on X. We are on YouTube, we are on Rumble, and we are on X. Now we know YouTube doesn't like to send out notifications, but Rumble does, as well as my locals that's listed over in Rumbles, so you can follow me there, and I need to try to utilize locals more for sure. But we also have other social media listed in the descriptions over on YouTube and Rumble, or you can check out my link tree on the link in my bio on X. And I'm just thankful and humbled for people hanging out with me, laughing, having a good time, supporting the channel by just boosting the algorithm. Always appreciated. Love doing this, and we'll continue doing it until I can't. But we got a lot of news, lots of stuff that caught my eye. So let's hop into it. Let's not dilly-dally any longer. So we'll start off coming in hot with Sony has contracted AMD for PlayStation 6, claims a report. And the platform holder reportedly prioritized PlayStation 5 backwards compatibility with its decision. Now that's awesome, and yet should be expected. What's up, Komanga? Because Xbox Series has backwards compatibility. I guess if you have Steam, you can play pretty much as long as you can get it to run, I know Steam sometimes has broken ports, but people kind of fix that and whatnot. And, PlayStation, to me, they would have kept up with the backwards compatibility aspect of it. I think they could have a solid leg, but we all know how Sony's going. We all know how the gaming industry is going. It's going garbage because it's listening to a group of weirdos who never liked the gaming sphere anyway. They just saw some sort of injustice that needed to be corrected, and they were the ones that'll fix it, It was one thing I always liked about Sony. You had your PS2, which could play PS1s. You had your PS3 that, if you had the original first generation emotion chip PlayStation 3 that actually had the innards of a PS2, you could play your PS2 PlayStation games that way. And then they stopped. Terrible move, terrible choice. But this is claiming that Sony has contracted, this is from Video Game Chronicles, Sony has contracted AMD to design and fabricate the PlayStation 6's chip due to the company's prioritization of backwards compatibility, it claims. So according to Reuters sources, AMD landed the contract through a competitive bidding process, which took place during 2022, that eliminated others such as Broadcom and Intel. AMD also created the custom system on a chip, SoC, for PlayStation 5 and the forthcoming PS5 Pro. And according to Reuters, this was a crucial point in Sony's decision for PlayStation 6. Moving from AMD, which made the PlayStation 5 chip, to Intel would have risked backwards compatibility, which was a subject of discussion between Intel and Sony engineers and executives, the publication claims. Ensuring backwards compatibility with prior versions of the PlayStation would have been costly and taken engineering resources. Allowing PlayStation users to play games they have purchased for older systems is a feature Sony often includes in a next-generation system. Yeah, but how old is old? Because the PS4 didn't allow you to play PS3 games or PS2 games or PS1 games. I actually remember reading an article where supposedly, I don't know if it was ever confirmed, but it was a rumor where they were working on a way to where the laser disc, they could change the focal point of it, and depending on how the focal point changed, it could then allow you to read specific discs, like CD discs, aka your PlayStation 1 games, your DVD discs, PlayStation 2, and now your Blu-ray. I remember reading that a while back. I don't know if that was ever confirmed, but I mean, if they're seriously thinking that the PlayStation 6 will be 100% backwards compatibility, that will, one, be a huge game changer. Number two, may possibly revive the physical media aspect of actually going out and buying a game. Now, I'm a little sus because, I mean, certain companies have made it clear they want you to go digital because they want you to pay for all the subscriptions with the false idea of, oh, you're getting all of our catalog, you're getting all of this, but you don't actually own it. So if we find out later you're just a bad person, we could just pull the plug on you. So rival chipmaker Intel reportedly met with Sony in 2022, including meetings between the two companies' CEO, dozens of engineers, and executives. A dispute over how much profit Intel would take from each chip sold blocked it from settling on a price with Sony, it's claimed. In response to Reuters reporting, an Intel spokesperson said, "We strongly disagree with this characterization, but are not going to comment about any current or potential customer conversations. We have a very healthy customer pipeline across both our product and foundry business, and we are squarely focused on innovating to meet their needs." Sony and Broadcom did not respond to requests for comment. AMD declined to comment, and then, according to documents published as part of the court battle over Microsoft's Activision Blizzard acquisition, Sony doesn't expect to launch its next-gen console until 2028. Man, 4 more years. So I thought that was interesting, though, in terms of trying to get stuff to go backwards compatible. Man, if they can do it, that'd be amazing. Jumping over to Niche Gamer here. Anybody's a fan of the Neverending Story, there's apparently a 4K remaster announced. So Imprint Films has announced the Neverending Story 4K remaster, the first 4K remaster of the classic 1980s fantasy adventure film by Wolfgang Peterson. Classic 1980s fantasy films is getting a 4K restoration, remaster from the original 35mm negatives in celebration of its 40th anniversary. Stuttering there, and will be presented in glorious Dolby Vision. Woo! And the Never Ending Story 4K. Is it really called The Never Ending Story 4K? Is that really the name they're going with? Like they're slapping 4K on there? I mean, anyway. It's likely it's coming exclusively via imprint. I expect the PS6 to be digital with the optical disc drive being sold separately, probably, because that's true, because they are doing that with the PS5 Pro. Unless, of course, the PS5 Pro doesn't do well. Of course, they're saying that people are still pre-ordering it and stuff like that or whatever, but So it's coming exclusively, like I said, via imprint films on November 27th and in a big crazy limited edition for $249, roughly 168 US dollars. AUD, what is that, Australian? Via their online store. It's likely the distributor of the film in the Americas. Wait, what? The films in the Americas. I'm assuming they mean like North, Central, South. Warner Brothers will license this new restoration out in the future and release it in the American market. Despite how nice the big limited box is, hopefully we'll get a mass market option for budget cinephiles too. And then here's a picture of what you can expect the big limited edition to be. Looking pretty fancy, pretty nice. Here's a rundown here. Apparently it's a 5-disc journey into the depth of the wonderful world of Fantasia. Limited edition replica storybook with high-quality leatherette adorned with the iconic Urun emblem. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I feel like I've never seen that Never-Ending Story, but I've seen like tons of bits and pieces of it. That's probably a video I should watch or rewatch because I can't remember if I ever fully watched it. Die-cast metallic ornamentation, red and white ribbons, gold fold stamping, embossed detailing like we see in the film, magnetically sealed to ensure it stays closed. Got your dimensions here. A4 reproduction of the original 1984 press kit. Full color matte laminated 27 by 40 folded print of the original poster. 11 by 14 cardstock. 3D lenticular hard case housing. All 5 discs. Original U.S. Theatrical cut. Apparently includes the German extended cut. Also in 4K and Blu-ray, and must-see experience for never-ending enthusiast. Huh. I wonder what the difference is with the German extended cut. And this is on Niche Gamer, so you can go and like kind of read all the stuff we got here. Got a trailer right there. I just thought that was pretty cool. Nice little update there, you know, something positive at the moment. We got other stuff too, but I think that's pretty sweet. Let's see. So I read a show or two ago about Flappy Bird coming back. Well, the original creator has responded. Also on Niche Gamer, and he's denouncing the revival, saying he did not sell anything. So not long after the Curious Flappy Bird revival with its bizarre new owners, the game's original creator, Dong Nguyen, has publicly disavowed the project, noting he hasn't sold the game. To recap, the original owner of Flappy Bird trademark allowed his trademark/ownership to expire, after which 1208 Productions, whose legal name is Game Tech Holdings LLC, filed a trademark against him, and like most legal gray areas, can now technically claim ownership to the IP. And this is the funny thing, because this guy took down Flappy Bird. I was going to say Floppy Bird, but I guess if you die, you do become floppy. The guy took it down because he was feeling guilty about people becoming addicted to it, supposed threats to his family, but making, what was it, like a shit ton of money, like in a day from all the advertisements and stuff like that. So to me, there was no excuse why you wouldn't keep up the trademark if you didn't want anyone else to take it. So after the new revival was thoroughly condemned on social media as a strange Web3 product that we now know has no association with its original owner, Guin has publicly condemned the revival. No, I have no related with their game. I have not related with their game, I think is what he meant. I did not sell anything. I also don't support crypto. Trademark law is unfortunately and frequently in favor of parties that have more money and / or lawyers. So when Guin didn't defend the challenge to his expired trademark, GameTech was given the mark instead, which to me makes absolutely no sense on how you don't have money for this because you literally shut it down within the month because you were claiming that you were making too much money and you were worried about people getting addicted. So unless you blew through all that money right away, like, got no one to blame but yourself there, Dong. Sorry. You clearly had enough money that you could have maybe extended the copyright or the trademark or whatever, but you chose not to. So the original Flappy Bird was released over a decade ago and went viral, ironically. Oh, I mean, I don't kind of see how that's ironic. I mean, yeah, it blew up like because it was an addicting game. I don't see the irony in it, but whatever. It got so popular, Guin got tired of the new fame and delisted off smartphone app stores. It remains to be seen what the supposed revival of Flappy Bird will look like in its totality. The current plan is to release the new version of the game later this year for web browsers with a full relaunch with dedicated apps on iOS and gameplay set for 2025. And Video Game Chronicles also made an article about it as well. So probably, similar information. Here's the actual X tweet. No, I have no related with the game. I did not sell it. Also, I don't support crypto. I have no relation with their game. Oh, I see. You meant to put no relation with their game, not related. I was like, what? The original game was released on iOS devices on May 2013. I still have it on my phone. I know people were literally selling it. I remember once that officially became shut down, people were selling their phones with the game on it and making a buck off of it because people wanted it so bad. It was insane. Yeah, tens of thousands of ad revenue per day. Game, I want to say we read one that was like it was more than that. But anyway, the game was later pulled from App Store. Blah 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 blah. So, Flappy Bird Foundation, consisting of a team of fans, acquired the official Flappy Bird trademark, as well as the rights to P.O.P.O. versus Cactus, the mobile game that some claim had been copied by Flappy Bird. And again, I know we read one where the creator of this game is part of this foundation. So I don't know why we're not seeing that anywhere else. I don't know where was it Video Game Chronicles that we read that one on? Anyway, and this foundation acquired the rights to Flappy Bird from GameTech Holdings, who registered the trademark after Guin failed to renew it. And that's the thing right there. I'm sorry, but if you chose not to renew it and someone picked it up. It's being led by designer Michael Roberts. Following the announcement of the re-release of the game, fans were quick to point out that Roberts is the head of the 1208 production, a crypto firm that describes itself as pioneering Web3. It's also behind GLP, one of Web3's largest gaming publishing platform. The new Flappy Bird it's going to be released, like we just read, in 20. Oops, did not mean to click that link to look up Android articles. It will continue new characters, game modes, and all that stuff. I mean, if there's no crypto in the game, like, I don't give a crap what the Foundation does about crypto. It is annoying, though. But there's your Flappy Bird information. Pretty crazy. So now he's upset. He's like, I'm not a part of it. We can close this one down. Whoop. What's up, Ted? Cruise Zodiac Killer on Rumble. I remember when Android 5 had a Flappy Bird clone hidden in the settings. Yeah, and then people just straight up just made literally the exact same game. It just wasn't made by specifically Guyan. So you can find a Flappy Bird clone out there. Not that difficult. Okay, now we can get into some funny stuff. So remember how the old video game industry isn't doing so hot? You know, DEI infesting everything. Games like Concord being taken off in less than 2 weeks because it just fails so miserably and all that stuff. Layoffs happening. Well, Microsoft reportedly laying off another 650 staff from game branching. Man, just cannot take the hint. It's laying off another sizable chunk of their global workforce in their Xbox branch, bringing their total layoffs into the thousands in recent years. The Xbox company is laying off another 650 staff from their gaming business, according to a memo set out by Xbox boss Phil Spencer via IGN, Verge, etc. last week. In the memo, Spencer echoes remakes he made earlier this year when the Xbox parent company laid off a staggering 1,900 staff from their entire global workforce not long after completing their acquisition of Activision Blizzard. He was clear to note the layoffs are mostly in their corporate and, quote, supporting functions groups, and the layoffs are directly related to their acquisition of Activision Blizzard. It sounds like your acquisition of Activision Blizzards isn't doing so hot because you're laying off these poor innocent people that are getting fired. So as part of aligning our post-acquisition team structure and managing our business, we have made the decision to eliminate approximately 650 roles across Microsoft Gaming, mostly corporate and supporting functions, to organize our business for long-term success, Spencer had. Oh, I mean, the higher-ups, I'm sure you're not laying off. It's always the filth that remains on top, you know? Long-term success. What is their long-term success plan anyway? The new layoffs bring the total number of affected staff from Microsoft's notably huge global workforce up to 2,550 total staff as noted from their gaming division. Here's the full word from Spencer. For the past year, our goal has been to minimize disruption while welcoming new teams and enabling them to do their best work, and then you fire them. Dead bone. As part of aligning our post-acquisition team structure and managing our business, we have made the decision to eliminate approximately 650 roles across Microsoft Gaming, mostly corporate and supporting functions, to organize our business for long-term success. I know that this is difficult news to hear. Someone needs to put up every, one of these memos that they set out since all the layings off and stuff. And I just want to know, how copy and paste everything is. Because I swear, I know we've read this in the past, and I swear, it's the same damn paragraph. We are deeply grateful for the contributions of our colleagues who are learning they are impacted. In the U.S., we're supporting them with exit packages that include severance, extended health care, and outplacement service to help with their transition. Outside the U.S., packages will differ according to location. See, I 100% remember this being exactly like this. So lifeless. put games on PlayStation and Nintendo consoles. Just at this point, just get the games at physical media and then rip them. Get those ROMs, emulate that crap. It's the only way to preserve it nowadays, and something that you can actually say I have. With these changes, our corporate and supporting team and resources are aligned to sustainable future growth. Oh, we have to fire you so that these other people are more sustained and can better support our studio team and business units with programs and resources that can scale to meet their needs. Separately, as part of running the business, there are some impacts to other teams as they adapt to shifting priorities and manage the life cycle and performance of games. No games, devices, or experiences are being canceled. Are being canceled, and no studios are being closed as part of these adjustments today. Throughout our team's history, we have had great moments, and we have had challenging ones. Today is one of the challenging days. I know that going through more changes like this is hard, but even the most trying times, this team has been able to come together and show one another care and kindness as we work to continue delivering for our players. We have so much care and kindness that we simply just copy and pasted this paragraph, maybe changed a word here and there to show that we're, kind of thinking about it. We appreciate your support as we navigate these changes, and we thank you for compassion and respect for each other. Ugh. Yawn. Lifeless. Memo Phil. Well, there's that. I didn't see any other. That might have just came in not too long ago, because I didn't see any other comments on the other articles and whatnot. So this is pretty funny. So coming from that Park Place, rumor, Disney executives stamped out any alleged gay interpretations from Inside Out 2 after Lightyear's box office failure. New rumor claims that Disney and Pixar executives instructed the Inside Out 2 team to remove any possible gay interpretations from Inside Out 2 after Lightyear's box office failure. So a report from IGN's Alex Stedman, who cites multiple anonymous individuals at Disney, claims that Disney executives blamed the failure of Lightyear on its inclusion of a gay kiss. Motherfucking gay kiss, yo. Lightyear only grossed 218.7 million according to the numbers. The film has an estimated production budget of 200 million. Oof. One source told Stedman, "It is, as far as I know, still a thing where leadership, they'll bring up Lightyear specifically and say, oh, Lightyear was a financial failure because it had a queer kiss in it. That's not the reason the movie failed." Despite the source's claims, Disney executive instructed Pixar creatives to make Inside Out 2, quote, less gay. I mean, what's wrong with that? That's a very solid statement. Make it less gay. And that can mean, the message as well as the lifestyle. Because kids should just be entertained. They don't need to know about this shit. It's the parents' responsibility. Captain Falcon, Sparking Zero talk when? Talked about it last on Friday. We looked at the Dragon Ball GT download. Stedman writes, sources describe rumors that there was a special care put into making the relationship between Riley and Val, a supporting character introduced in Inside Out 2, seem as platonic as possible, even requiring edits to the lighting and tone of certain scenes to remove any trace of romantic chemistry. See, this is the thing. If this was never in there to be, if it was literally originally to be platonic, then I'm glad they're telling him to do that. Because the concept of like a platonic relationship is like foreign to these people. There has to be some sort of hidden love inside of everything nowadays. I hate that crap. It's so annoying. Can't wait for Frozen 3 and Toy Story 5. Toy Story 5. Toy Story should have ended at Toy Story 3. You're going to see a lot of me during Dragon Ball Sparking Zero on chat. One source told him that Pixar did, quote, a lot of extra work to make sure that no one would potentially see them as not straight. While Disney allegedly provided instructions to remove any gay implication, one source made it clear that Riley is not gay. The source told Stedman, mind you, Riley is not canonically gay. Then what? Okay, so if she's not canonically gay and people were starting to do stuff to kind of hint towards it, though, if that's the case, those people need to be fired because they're not following the established lore. So in the film, what you saw, nothing about Riley says that she's gay, but it is kind of inferred based on certain context. Well, which is it? Is she not canonically gay? See, this is, and I guarantee you these inferred contexts that maybe some of these people are like, oh, she's gay and stuff like that. These people don't know like platonic relationships at all. They don't. And so that is something they tried to play down at multiple times. Just have a line that says, I'm not gay, for heaven's sakes. Oh my gosh. See, you're already trying to like put these subliminal messages in for like kids. Just straight up, just be as blunt as possible. Have one person be like, oh, like starting to do something. And isn't she like, isn't she like 13 in here? Again. This is just going down a rabbit hole at this point. But we all know that these people like target kids. You know, that's why they get so mad when you call them out. You know, like when drag queens need for some reason to read to kids at libraries. They just have to do it. Never mind going to like adults or anything like that. That like, you know, are of consent and like are more developed and understand stuff. Never mind that. Like, gotta go to that library. Gotta get them kids. Toy Story 5 should have ended at 3, spot on. 4 was a story that was no need for animation, just a book for it, though. I never even seen... I don't think I've ever watched Toy Story 4, so I could care less. Is that the one with the spoon? And who is that? Keanu Reeves or something? Anyway, despite the source's claim... Oh, wait, we read that. Yeah, tone it down of certain scenes to remove any trace of romantic chemistry. One source told them that Pixar did... Okay, I've read this. So while Disney... Oh my gosh, why did I scroll up? I think I must have like... was trying to look for something. There should not be a surprise given that Pixar released a short titled Riley's First Date back in 2015, where she goes on a date with a boy named Jordan. And it appears the strategy of stamping out any kind of gayness in the film, if true, worked out extraordinarily well for Pixar and Disney. The film grossed $652.5 million domestically, another $1.018 billion internationally. And the film had an estimated budget of $200 million. Almost like when you write a good story and not focused on like sexuality and gender and stuff like that, that it does well. Almost like that sort of stuff, like even though it can contribute to the story, when it's not the main focus because it never was supposed to be the main focus to begin with, like you succeed. Amazing. Amazing on how that works. What was that? What was that one like gay movie that came out? Bro movie or something? Remember that? Remember there was like some movie when that everyone was making a big spectacle about it, be like, "Oh yeah, this is sticking it to him," and then it just failed miserably. And then of course when it failed, they said, "Well, people are just bigots and stuff like that." Almost like when you make a movie like that, prime example, when you make a movie specifically about that stuff, how it just flops and fails miserably. This rumor is true. It is a drastic shift of the Walt Disney Company strategy. Well, don't. You mean the Disney Company strategy? Let's be real. Walt Disney versus Disney are two separate things altogether. Walt Disney was awesome. Disney. I don't think Riley was gay. Never thought Riley was gay. I saw the first movie. I doubt I'm going to go out of my way to see the second one. Maybe sometime later down the road. Disney television animation executive producer Latoya Revenue admitted that she had been injecting a not at all secret. Yeah, we knew that because she's scum. Into the show she works on just 2 years ago in 2022. Okay, and then they're just repeating like what she said before, but she straight up admits it. So, company also launched Disneyland after park Pride Nights at Disneyland last year. Oh my gosh. Dude, this is completely unnecessary. The Disneyland After Dark Pride Nights, they didn't need this because during the day, there are literally, my friend Eric talked about this when he worked at Disney. These people don't hide it. Even they do not need a specific time to let their pride fly, and all that stuff, because literally there will be people there that will wear shirts that says, "One day I hope my prince will come," out in public around kids. This is retarded. Did you not like the first movie? No, I liked the first movie. No, that was a neutral movie. That was fine. I just assumed if an Inside Out 2 would happen, that they would push the agenda. But if supposedly these rumors are true, then good. Yeah, past June, Disneyland Resorts public relation director citing Disneyland After Dark Pride Night returns to the Disneyland Resort for its second year with colorful celebrations, joyful photo opportunities, event merchandise, fabulous food, and divine drinks. Celebrates the LGBTQ garbage community. Yeah, completely unnecessary because you see the community regularly. Oh my gosh, look at this. Remember when Disney was all about LGBTQ? Around kids, sad behavior. Yeah, this was happening. This was way back in the day. This was happening, guys, way back in the day. Like the gay to straight ratio of people who work at Disney, just assume like one out of 10 guys that you might run into, like fellow workers and stuff, just assume they're gay. My friend Eric's talked about this. Like, so many gay people there. So many. And I'm sure it's just gotten more and more filled up with that. I'll leave. I was going to make a joke, but we'll leave. You make your own joke at that comment. Anyway. Yeah, and then Amit Gurney also shared desire to push LGBTQ lifestyle on children, even though they can't consent and they don't mentally understand. Member of the O'Keefe Media Group asked, "I despise those kind of people that want to accuse Disney of grooming children, but I also want to see LGBTQ content. Don't you agree?" She responded, "Yes, of course. That's the unspoken thing." He also later revealed, "So big current projects that will take up the rest of the 4 or 5 month will be Pride. We'll have Pride Campus across Disney right here." See? Look at that. These people, when they said, "I got to read to people, I got to read to kids every time." Zoom, straight to the kid. And their argument is, why aren't you letting kids, express their sexuality and stuff? When the real question is, why is your knee-jerk reaction going, I need to read these kids dressed in drag. I need to read this child's book dressed in drag in front of kids. What do you make of these rumors regarding Disney and Pixar executive instructing creatives to stamp out the gayness in Inside Out 2? If it's true, good. Keep doing it. Literally a place to where you go to have fun, where you go and are inside the Disney universe. And again, what these people do is they infiltrate and they hijack everything and they turn everything into their own debauchery group. Greg's such a great name. This is the same garbage they're doing with anime. Anime is an umbrella term. There are many genres that exist inside anime. But the history of anime, where anime came from, a lot of it was, a response to World War II. That sort of stuff. You got your action, your shonen, your isekai, psychological thing. You have all of these different types of genres. But what these activists do is they'll hijack it and they'll say, no, the LGBTQ, no, that's the heart and soul of anime, for example. That's what it's always been, when it never was. Never was. It was a niche of a niche genre. But these people want to say that was like the heart and soul of where anime came from. I hate this crap. They do it fucking all the time. So Abounding into Comics also made an article about that supposedly too. So Riley dyes her hair to impress Val in Inside Out. There you go. There you go. So, according to a new report, in an apparent attempt to avoid any controversy surrounding the film's release, Disney responded to the original draft of Inside Out 2 by asking Pixar to rewrite the script in order to make teenage protagonist Riley Anderson come across as less gay. This supposed Disney directive was first revealed to the public courtesy of numerous allegedly now former Pixar employees spoke to IGN, so we knew that. I think for a month or two, the animators were working 7 days a week, said an insider in reference to one of their colleagues described as the largest crunchy in the studio's history. Ridiculous amount of production workers, just people being tossed into jobs they never really done before. It was horrendous. One team member even revealed that due to the laid-off employees not being official members of the Disney workforce at the time, they did not qualify for any bonuses related to Inside Out 2's potential and ultimately eventual success. To be told by your HR reps that we are not going to qualify for that bonus felt like an ultimate fuck you for Disney, said one of the laid-off Pixar member or employees. What? Okay. I mean, what does this have to do with Riley being told to make Riley less gay? Like, it's to be expected. You're going to be treated like garbage. Another insider revealed that the reason for Pixar's supposed scramble regarding Inside Out 2 was the fact that it was considered by many to be a, quote, a life or death situation for the studio's future. That was the pressure felt by everyone. The studio's future? Like Pixar? Because they're realizing that the LGBTQ doesn't sell? When you constantly make that the focal point over and over again? If that's the case, then yes, let it fail. Let it fail. At this point, studios just need to crumble to get the wake-up call they need to go back to what was fine in the past. And the only people that hated it were the cucks in the corner. And the cucks in the corner We're not even a part of the damn group to begin with. Just shut up and keep serving the lunch tray. That was the pressure felt by everybody. We need this movie to succeed because we won't have a studio. When did this turn into like the studio closing? Let the circus burn. And that is the pressure that everybody felt the whole time. Even now, I think people are gone, still feeling that pressure of like, oh my God, we did it. To this end, another insider then detailed in the hopes of boosting the film's chances of success, the higher-ups gave the creative team numerous notes urging them to ensure that the aforementioned Riley came across as, quote, less gay. So here we go. Now we're at the meat of the story. In search of this goal, the team was asked to remove any hint of romantic chemistry between the fledgling hockey pro and, presumably, given the context of the film itself, her fellow teammate Val Ortiz. Okay. Often in ways that required such outright changes as editing lighting in certain scenes and rewriting others completely. Here's the question. Here's the big question. So if they needed to go back and fix the stuff because the lighting was indicating something was there, that means that it was originally made to be that way. That someone said, we need to make this gay relationship that was never there to begin with there, and now are going back to avoid it. So the solution, if this was the case, was to never do it in the first place. So again, we kind of read the same thing. Someone stated she's not canonically gay in the film. What you saw, nothing about Riley said that she's gay, but it is kind of inferred based on certain contexts. Again, if this person is saying it's been established canonically that she's not gay, but yet apparently there are certain contexts that tries to infer it, that means some asshole went out of their way to do that. So either the higher-ups told them to do that to begin with, and now it was like, oh, no, never mind. We got to change it back. Or someone was not listening to the higher-ups and not caring about the story and went ahead and did it anyway. So that is something they tried to play down at multiple points, and they got like caught or something. I don't know. Summarizing the thoughts of many Pixar team members regarding the matter, one insider admitted that a lot of us accepted the fact that we may never see a major gay character in a picture. There it is. Right there. Right there. Sounds to me like a lot of these people, these ex-Pixar people, got let go for the right reason. She wasn't gay, and they tried to make her gay, and they got fucking caught. And then they got let go. And then they hired new people to fix that shit. Or they're there, they didn't get let go, but they got caught and got told to fucking fix it. Never see a major gay character in a Pixar movie. It's not about the story. It's not about being creative. It's about the sexuality. The narcissism from these people. No one gives a shit about your sexuality. You're not special. The world doesn't see you as special. And yet they claim they're oppressed. They're an oppressed group. When yet they're the most privileged people out there. I think the biggest feeling that I heard around the studio before the layoffs, and okay, so it sounds like, again, never mind. And now even post layoffs, talking to people who are still there, is everybody feels like the executives are really just acting in a fear-based way. Explain another insider of not just Pixar's apparent aversion to gay characters, but also its current lack of solid direction and vision. Everything is to preserve their own power in the job. So I think morale is really low here because people no longer trust that they're being led with their best interests at heart. No. You're feeling this way because you got caught, apparently, changing something that was canonically established into something that you feel needs to be in the forefront of things. And then the higher ups said, what the hell are you doing? Fix it. Change it back the way it was. Dude, the narcissism of these people. And here's the other thing too. They're claiming that it's for the higher ups just to keep their own power and their own jobs. You know damn well if these people were given any sort of higher power than what they already have, they would gatekeep and never let that go. Never let that go. Prime example is the dubbing industry of anime. Prime example. The established veteran voice actors will never, and will not give up their power. And the people that suck up to them and like are just the trained clap seals that, oh, we follow the same ideology, so they give them any sort of leeway. If those people would get into that position of power, they would get rid of the veterans. We've seen it already. Saw it with Vic. There's my buddy Eric. We've seen it with people. We know how these people work. So do not fall for their lies. But anyway, there's that. Hope you guys liked that one. That one was a doozy. What else do we got? Ubisoft runs to New York Times to attack players in defense of Assassin's Creed Shadows. So we got more Assassin's Creed Shadows. So French video game developer Ubisoft ran to the New York Times in order to attack its own players in an attempt to salvage its upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows game. Oh my goodness. So in a play straight out of Prime Video's playbook of The Lord of the Rings of Power, Ubisoft leveraged Zachary Small in the New York Times, as well as a so-called expert, to attack players ahead of the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows. So you'll recall back in 2022, this comes from that Park Place, by the way, the Ring of Power executive worked with Vanity Fair to attack fans of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, knowing that what they had created was an abomination. So, I mean, we're not going to dive into the Lord of the Rings aspect here. But apparently Ubisoft is now doing the same thing with the New York Times and Small. Like Brzezinkin and Robinson, Small wrote, some gamers erupted over his appearance, convinced that the franchise, known for its immersive recreations of the past, had, quote, gone woke by including a black character in its depiction of 16th century Japan. He then claims that, quote, developers received personal attacks and death threats during their online harassment campaign. I'm sure some were there, but I would say not to the extreme to what they're making it out. This is how it always is. It's like the garbage with Alyssa Mercante. They'll make threats, and it's perfectly fine because it's threats to the enemy. It's the same thing like with the second assassination attempt with Trump here. Well, it's Trump's fault for causing, a ruckus. Yasuke the Unknown. Yep. To no surprise, he shares no evidence of such attacks or threats. After attacking gamers, Small then weaves a false narrative that has already been refuted for months by citing historian. Yeah, we've read this one too. This guy admitted communist. However, historian Yuichi Goza, who is a faculty member of the International Research Center of Japan Studios focusing on Japanese medieval history and the author of What is a Samurai, he said the opposite. He speculated that Yasuke was simply Oda Nobunaga's bodyguard and entertainer rather than a samurai. And I believe we've read this too. And Gaza is correct because very few historical records are out there about Yasuke. He has not been the subject of much research except by Thomas Lockley, who made up the majority of this shit because he wanted to create a light novel or something. We read something about that too. And then, Nobunaga gave him a sword and a house, indicating that he treated him as a samurai. However, this is something that only appears in this biography among the dozens of manuscripts of the Nobunaga Chronicle, and we cannot deny the possibility that it was added later when the manuscripts were transcribed. This wouldn't be the first time that leftists have rewritten history. Gaza continued, also, even if he was a samurai, he may have been a formality. For example, in the Edo period, feudal lords who were fond of sumo had their own personal wrestlers. Formerly, they were treated as vassals or samurai and allowed to wear a sword, but even if a war broke out, it was not expected that the feudal lords would allow their retainers to fight on the battlefield. Not only did Small cite the communist Hirayama, but like Vanity Fair with Maldonado, he cited Kazuma Hashimoto, who he describes as a, quote, Japanese consultant and translator in the video game industry. It was people in the West who are upset with seeing Yasuke about a samurai, except it wasn't, because there was a petition done by Japanese people. So go fist yourself. This is potentially false and makes absolutely no sense, given Small even admits that Ubisoft apologized to Japanese player. After the online blowback, the game's development team attempted to a sausage concern. Sausage? What? A sewage? Not a sausage. I don't know why I said that. Hold on. New word of the day. How do you pronounce this? Because it's going to bother me. Pronunciation.
Assuage.
Oh, assuage. There we go. Assuage. There you go. Put that in your new vocab dictionary. Attempted to assuage concerns about the game's authenticity, apologizing in a lengthy statement for promotional materials that said it had bothered some. They apologized, but they're still going to release the game anyway. They're still going to not change everything, especially that one flag that is straight up, stolen. That stuff. All right, so that was pretty much... So it's pretty much the same tactics they're apparently using all the time. But as we're coming up here, sounds French. Yep. Assuage sounds French. Yep. Lollipop Chainsaw Repop director debunks accusation of censorship. Says change of game engine caused reduction in Jiggle physics. So despite an accusation to the contrary, Lollipop Chainsaw Repop director Yoshimi Yasuda has assured players that the recent release remake is 100% censored. This claim that Yasuda and the devs at Dragami Games had gone back on their promise that the game would be unaltered was first raised by Twitter user Manga Lawyer, who on September 11th alleged that protagonist Juliet's original generous Jiggle physics were missing. So we've got, and I saw this tweet, we got it right here. He did a playback between he showed the PS3 version. And then he does a follow-up with a full comparison, claiming that the creators toned down Juliet's physics in the standing position. If it doesn't matter or it's not a big deal, then why change it? Maybe there isn't a clear answer. I prefer the original PS3. I made a comment here saying, yeah, if this is the case, then yeah, it's absolutely not 100% not uncensored. But However, in light of the fact that the game was uncensored in every other regard, even with the seashell bikini skin and an achievement for peeping up Juliet's skirt being left untouched, pushed back against Manga Lawyer's theory of deliberate censorship and instead chalked the toned-down physics up to the game's translation from its original Unreal Engine 3 to current Unreal Engine 5. And per Yasuda, it appears these players were right on the money. Yep, I remember reading someone said it's possible it could just be the engine. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then Yasuda took to his personal account on September 13th, responded to a number of issues that had been raised, and he addressed the feedback from players that pricing is different in regions of the world has not been thoroughly researched. We agree with the players and will adjust the prices as soon as possible. And then from there, he turned his attention to the various bugs reports that team has received, a promise to fix them, and considered options, settings, and optimization. And here is the main point that he wanted to point out about Juliet's animation. Forming players. Regarding the physics engine, we are using the physics plugin Kawaii Physics as a plugin for Repop because the physics engine used in the original version is not compatible with Unreal Engine 5. The behavior of the physics engine was caused by a bug in the parameters, he explained. We will fix it promptly. We are also fixing other graphics bugs. If you notice any, please contact us. Then moving away from Manga Lore, the director finally addressed the currently circulating rumor of Dragami Games' decision to give the game its censored repop mode was made in exchange for permission to leave its standard mode uncensored. Disappointed that some influencers and journalists are spreading false news, such as the suggestion that I proposed a repop mode as a, quote, censored mode, well, not quote, but as a censored mode, and negotiated to make the original mode uncensored, he wrote. The fact is we have obtained ESRB approval for the game's specifications you are playing now, applied to the platformer, and obtained release approval without receiving any correction instructions from all the platformers. This is the same as what I told you before, and I honestly shared this fact with the game users, he bluntly concluded. If someone is trying to twist the story about the uncensored version of Lollipop Chainsaw Repop to suit their own purposes, their own purposes, I will protest. So, in all of its uncensored glory, it's available PS4, PS5, Series XX, Xbox One, Switch, and PC platforms. Kind of want to read the comments here. I appreciate his openness, as well as this person said. I'm not saying there's no censorship, but I know enough about game engines to believe it really is the culprit here. So UE5 supports body physics, so the base skeleton just needs their proper nodes with the proper values attached to recreate the original generous jiggle physics. Sounds more like the model creators didn't use the right values, and thus the reduction. So I will believe that it sounds like it is the engine, like the Unreal Engine. Here, the question is why wasn't this noticed at all? Why wasn't this noticed before you released it? Like, because Manga Lore picked it up just like that. So you would think that the people working on the game would have noticed that as well. So that's the big question. But I want to give him the benefit of the doubt by saying that it is uncensored and it was an issue with the gaming engine. But again, that should have been something to caught. Because it's sus, too. Because to me, this is kind of like the same situation with Tomb Raider Remastered 1 through 3. They claimed everything was left untouched, and then someone was like, what about those posters? They're gone. Oh, it was a bug. And then they put the poster back in, but yet the posters aren't the original posters, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a slightly different version of the posters because it has like what they called Lara before her name was officially Lara. So it sounds to me like, again, I'll take his word for it, and I think it legitimately was the behavior of the physics engine. But it still should have been caught, because you knew people would point this out right away. I like how I said point that out, and I'm circling the boobs. But, you know, as a man, we love boobs, you know? And I don't know. I never played it. I might play. I mean, I do like me. It's a hack and slash. I do like me my hack and slashes. So I might pick it up down the road. I mean, I don't know. Some people might say just play the PS3 version. I do have a PS3, so I could pick it up at some point. But there you go. There you go. Blame the engine for them reduced physics. Might just be a minor error with how the engine handles this. At the same time, it is definitely fishy, yet not the worst thing. Yeah, it's not the worst thing. Like, I would still say Stellar Blade is still... that one was definitely sus. But yeah, I would say the lollipop chainsaw thing isn't a big thing. But as we're winding down, I will be picking up sometime in the future. Also, the minor issue might be fixed with a fan patch. Yeah. So as we're winding down here, got some cool news here. I forgot to look it up. But I can do that offline here. But this Neon Inferno game looks pretty cool. It's a stylish 2D run and gun shooter. Steel Salt developer Xenovia has announced Neon Inferno, a stylish new 2D run and gun and gallery shooter set in a ruined New York City. It's in development for Windows PC, set sometime in 2025. Apparently, the game takes place 3 decades from now. New York City is at a war with itself. Well, that's no surprising. Might actually come to fruition here, the way New York City is going. A war with no battlefield. Criminal syndicates control 4 of its 5 boroughs, fighting each other in the corrupt NYPD in a vicious struggle for supremacy. So into this dystopia steps a fledgling crime family trying to secure their place, striving for power just as everyone else. You are their deadliest weapon. You are an assassin. Your mission will take you through every area of this metropolitan sprawl, from the impoverished, battle-torn slums of the Bronx, where the police and the gangs wage vicious war, covering entire neighborhoods in flame, to the walled neon gardens of inner Manhattan. So as you can see, I was watching a little bit of it already. So we'll go ahead and bring it up here. Actually, can I... Oh, that doesn't work if I make it full screen. Whoops. That looks cool, though. Kind of gives me a, like, especially that cover there, it kind of gives me a thing of Wild Arms. Shoot close, aim far. Yeah, it's definitely given a Wild Arms feel to it. This is a game I think of. Or maybe even your, like, Dick Tracy for, like, Sega Genesis. Quite a bit of style. Just hope they actually finish it. Yeah, I hope so, too. So I think that looks pretty cool. So if that's something that interests you guys, check that out, too. All right. And like always, well, not like always, let's wind down the show here with taking a look at games that were released today. Metal Slug 2. Yeah. I like Metal Slug. It's a good... Metal Slug is a good series. All right. Hopefully this is showing up in your end. Yep. So this day in gaming. Spider-Man and Venom. Maximum Carnage. Great game. Hard, but amazing. And one of the few LGN games that's actually good. I love this game. The Super Nintendo, I played on both. I remember playing on both games since I played it on Genesis. But the Super Nintendo one's like probably the better of the two. You've got your Kingdom Hearts over on PlayStation. 2, Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. I need to play more of the Castlevania games. Ooh, The Simpsons Hit and Run. That's supposedly one of the best Simpsons game out there besides the arcade. Very cool. Apparently, Kowloon Yoma Gakuenki. Don't know what that is, but apparently it's in bold, so apparently that's one of the major ones. Ooh, Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. That's actually a really good Mortal Kombat game. It's different, and I like it. It's more of like your beat 'em up sort of game. Very fun game. What else do we got? Star Wars Jedi Academy. Apparently that. All right, so we got that. And then I think there was one in yeah, let's go to Moby Games here. What else do we got? Prince of Persia 3D apparently was released for the Windows. Austin Powers, welcome to my underground lab, baby. Hey, In Like Flint, that's my favorite movie. What else do we got? If you like your Sims, the deluxe edition was released in Australia. Oh, Silent Hill 4, The Room, at least in the United Kingdom. I still haven't beaten Silent Hill 3 or 4. Doop 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 boop ba doop. Got your Grand Theft Auto 5 released for the PlayStation 3. Let's see, we're in 2015. See if anything else coming up. Isn't it amazing on how like you're just excuse me, all these solid games like from the past, and as you're getting close, you know, getting closer up here, you're just seeing nothing. Just nothing worth anything. How sad. Alrighty. Well, that is all I have for today. So, thanks for everyone for hanging out. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. We were on YouTube, Rumble, and X. So we had a lot of good news today. In terms of like quantity. News may not be the best, but you know what? That's all right. As long as we're keeping up to date. Let's see. See if anybody's online that we can redirect. It is Monday. I don't think a whole lot of people are online. Not that I'm seeing. Oh. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, you guys. It was a nice watching. Sorry I came in like, nah, you're fine, Scotty. You are fine. I just appreciate you guys coming to hang out. But yes, you guys have a good rest of your night. Take care. We'll continue playing Blue Dragon and Luigi's Mansion 2. But yes, you guys have a good rest of your night. Take care. God bless. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. So, peace.